My name is Dermot O'Callaghan. I'm a graduate in Mechanical Sciences of Cambridge University. I'm a retired management consultant. I've spent most of my working life in consultancy, including in the health sector and the mental health sector.
What role do you see the professional bodies playing in the UK in challenging Judeo-Christian values?
The professional mental health bodies in the UK are moving away from the Judeo-Christian values on which our society has been built. The Association of Christian Counsellors, for example, has tried to hold on to the principle of client autonomy when addressing the question of same-sex attraction, but all the other organisations have taken the opposite view, that the client must not be allowed to reduce same-sex attractions, and the ACC has had to jump from its preferred position to the position held by all the other organisations. The emphasis in the past has always been on client self-determination, and that still holds good except for the case of same-sex attraction, where the shift is away from the client and towards the dogmatic, therapist-driven view.
These bodies appear to be of one voice. How and why do you think they've achieved the singularity of purpose in regards to understanding of sexuality?
The mental health bodies have all taken on board the new view of human sexuality, that gay is good, and they've come together and developed a strategy so that they are all singing out of the same hymn book and trying to eliminate therapy to reduce same-sex attraction. They have produced two documents, one called a consensus statement on conversion therapy, and the other a memorandum of understanding on conversion therapy in the UK. And these documents form the basis of a strategy that the organisations have formulated to ensure that there's a common voice between them in trying to stamp out, to use that phrase, conversion therapy, as they call it.
Would you briefly highlight the issues which you believe fail to reflect scientific rigor that we've come to expect from professional bodies in the UK?
I think we can see the move away from scientific rigor by looking at the conversion therapy document, the consensus statement. Because if I shorten the answers that they give to the questions, they ask themselves three questions. Number one, what is conversion therapy? Part of the answer, we believe, note that phrase, that it has the potential to cause harm. Second question, why do therapy professionals consider it unethical? We believe it would be irresponsible and potentially damaging. Question three, what does research tell us about conversion therapy? And here you expect you're really going to get a scientific answer. We believe that it would be likely to reinforce the notion that these feelings are wrong or abnormal. So these are not scientific answers that they're giving to their own questions. These are ideological answers. A past president of the American Psychological Association has put it very succinctly. Dr. Jack Wiggins says, in mental health circles today, misguided idealism and social sophistry guarantee that good science and practice will not go unpunished.
What's the issue with the UKCP?
The UKCP have said in their ethics document that there is overwhelming evidence that therapy to reduce same-sex attraction is harmful. Now, I've written to them, I've had lengthy correspondence, and they haven't been able to produce any evidence for me. Then their chair of diversities on the radio said that there's very conflicting evidence. And then she finally said, we have taken a view in a way which is, regardless of the scientific findings, we still believe that it is unethical to seek to agree to work towards changing someone's sexual orientation through psychotherapy. So they've taken four simultaneous views which are mutually irreconcilable. There's overwhelming evidence of harm, there's no evidence, there's conflicting evidence, and they've taken a position that doesn't require any evidence. That is serious for science.
What's the issue with the Royal College of Psychiatrists?
The Royal College of Psychiatrists have misled both church and state. They made a submission to the Church of England which had 5 broad themes. You're born gay because it's biological. You can't change. If you try to change, you'll harm yourself. If you find that you're depressed or suicidal, you are probably suffering from homophobia in society. And likewise, if you find it hard to hold a same-sex relationship together, it's probably society's fault. Now, all 5 of those are unsupported by science. The Royal College itself undermined the first 2 of these. The following year, they brought out a new position statement which said, not it's biological causation, but it's a combination of biology and early life experiences, and they use the crucial word postnatal. And what happens to you postnatally means you were not born that way. And that message needs to go out around the world. You were not born that way. Similarly, they acknowledge that there is a fluidity in sexuality so that it can change. They don't accept that it can be changed, but it can change. So that undermines the second point. The third point they sustained by misquoting or misrepresenting a scientific paper by changing the word majority to read small minority. And the fourth and fifth points were rebutted by the Church of England Working Group itself, to whom they made the submission, who said, look, if you look at the studies that you are referring to, they don't actually support the points that you're making. So all 5 of these points are invalidated.
What's the issue with the GMC?
I've tried, along with my colleague Peter May, to raise with the GMC a complaint about 3 officers in the Royal College of Psychiatrists, and basically the GMC have said, well, these issues, we understand your concerns, but they're not sufficient to deem a person to be unfit to practice, and therefore we're not going to take them any further. The Professional Standards Authority reports to Parliament. It's been recently set up. It oversees the work of 9 statutory bodies in the healthcare field, and it similarly has committed itself to the position that all the others have, that therapy is harmful, and therefore it will not entertain any complaints regarding the lack of scientific substance under that claim.
What's the issue with the Professional Standards Authority?
There's an issue with the Professional Standards Authority. It oversees the work of 8 statutory bodies. And again, we've tried to bring a complaint to them, but they say that it's not within their bailiwick to look at individual types of therapy, and therefore they're not prepared to entertain any complaint.
Do these issues and facts have any relevance for the Church of Jesus Christ?
I think all of this is very relevant to the Church of Christ today. Hundreds of years ago, a scientist called Galileo argued against the Church that the Earth went round the sun and not the other way around. The Church took a defensive position, and people think that that's the same thing again today. It is in a way, but the roles are now different, because the health institutions are equivalent to the Church. They are on the back foot. We are asking the scientific questions, and it's very important for the Church to educate itself and to stand up and be counted in favour of the traditional Judeo-Christian values on which we've been brought up.
Do these issues have any relevance for people generally outside of the Church, people who don't share Judeo-Christian values?
People who don't have a faith position are equally affected, I believe, compared with people who are Christians or Jews or whatever, because same-sex attraction happens to all sorts of people, and all sorts of people have an equal interest in good science being done to help them with their own objectives in life.